What if someone you saw every day, someone you felt like you knew, suddenly looked like a stranger? That is what fans are saying right now about Rachael Ray. The face we all knew, the smiling, bubbly chef, has been replaced by someone fans say they do not even recognize. And everyone is asking, what happened to her? Before you see her now, you need to take a deep breath. The answer is so much bigger and more shocking than you think. The story begins in May 2025. Rachael posted a video for Mother's Day. She was in her kitchen wearing glasses and talking about her past. She told a story about how she used to be very, very poor when she first lived in New York City. She said she lived on $40 a week and was too scared to tell her mom she had no money. But fans were not focused on the story. They were focused on Rachael herself. The comments section exploded. People were worried. Her voice seemed to be trembling. One person wrote, "Are you okay? You do not look well." Another said, "She's unrecognizable." This was not the first time. This wave of concern had been building for months. Back in the fall of 2024, she posted other cooking videos that made fans feel like something was wrong. The comments were brutal. "What happened to her? Is she okay?" One person wrote. Another said, "I too admit I was shocked this was her. It is not being mean. It is just an observation." And the most common one, "This is Rachael Ray. She looks like a different person." Fans started pointing to specific things. They said her speech sounded slurred. Some worried that one side of her mouth appeared lower than the other. This led to terrifying speculation. People openly worried she had suffered a stroke. Other fans guessed at even darker reasons for the change. Some defenders asked for kindness, suggesting maybe she was on high doses of steroids for a hidden health issue. Rachael herself has never answered these comments. She has not addressed the fears about her health. The woman in these videos seemed tired, frail, and so different from the energetic star we all remembered. This is the image fans had. A woman who was unrecognizable and trembling. But then, just 1 month after that shocking May 2025 video, she stepped out and the woman on the red carpet told a very different story. On June 12, 2025, Rachael Ray made a very rare public appearance. She and her husband, John Cusimano, showed up for a cause they love, the North Shore Animal League, America's celebration of rescue. This was a huge event. Howard Stern was there. Hank Azaria was there. And Rachael was on the red carpet, but she did not look frail. Photographers snapped pictures of her looking elated. She was all smiles. She posed for photos with her husband and was seen cradling puppies for the cameras. She looked happy. She looked healthy. This was the first time most people had seen her in public in a full year. Her last big appearance was at the very same event back in June 2024. This just made the mystery deeper. How could the unrecognizable woman from the May video be this elated woman cradling puppies in June? Was she just putting on a brave face? Was she hiding something? If she is so happy and healthy, where has she been? Why are her public appearances so rare? It's all part of the disappearance mystery. For 17 years, Rachael Ray was a part of our daily lives. Her daytime talk show, Rachael Ray, was on 5 days a week. Then in 2023, it ended. And Rachael just vanished from daytime TV. Many people thought she had simply disappeared. But she has talked about this. She says she did not disappear. She says she never stopped working. So where did she go? The answer is the first big reveal. She is no longer just in New York. Rachael Ray is now splitting her time between 2 places, New York and a small, quiet town in Tuscany, Italy. She said she prefers living in Italy. She wants a quieter life. She is not gone, she is just busy. She even launched a new podcast in late 2024 called I'll Sleep When I'm Dead, but she paused it after just 8 episodes. Why? She told People magazine it was because she got a huge order for new shows with her own company. She is living a quieter life in a new country and is busier than ever. But this just opens up a bigger question. Why? Why walk away from a 17-year hit show? Why move to Italy? Why did she need a quieter life so badly? To understand why she had to escape, you have to understand the night that changed her life forever. You have to go back to the night her entire world turned to ash. The night her world burned down. It was August 9, 2020. Rachael was at her home in Lake Luzerne, New York. This was her sanctuary, a house deep in the woods that she had designed herself. She was home with her husband John, her mother, and her dog Bella. Then it started. She would later describe the moment she knew something was wrong. She said, "I could hear the fire in the wall. I could hear electricity. I could hear danger." A fire had broken out and was moving fast. The family and the dog got out with nothing. They were safe, but her house, her entire life was gone. Viewer video showed intense flames shooting from the home. Rachael called the experience blood-curdling. She stood on the road and watched her home be completely destroyed. She lost everything, but it was the small things that hurt the most. She later talked about what she lost, not just clothes, which can be replaced. She lost her notebooks. Her husband, a musician, lost his music books, things that are not so easily replaceable. She told one truly heartbreaking story. Her home had a pizza oven. In the days after the fire, she looked at the wreckage and thought the pizza oven had survived. It was one small thing that made it through. But she was wrong. She said that 12 or 13 days later, something fell and broke the pizza oven, too. The house was a total loss. It was bulldozed. Her reaction at the time was amazing. She said she was grateful. "We're all okay." She told her fans, "These are the days we all have to be grateful for what we have, not what we've lost." But the trauma was deep. This is the moment that changed her. She said it herself in a tearful video years later. "I can say from personal experience, when disaster strikes your home, your life changes forever." This is the before and after moment. This is the event that explains the need for a quieter life in Italy. It explains the trauma that fans might be seeing in her face and hearing in her voice. How could anyone survive that? How could anyone come back from watching their life get bulldozed? The truth is Rachael Ray has been a fighter her whole life. And this was not the first time she had been attacked. Long before she was a TV star, Rachael Ray lived in New York City in the 1990s. She worked at the candy counter at Macy's and later managed the fresh foods department. She then helped open a famous gourmet market called Agata and Valentina. But her life in the city was terrifying. She was mugged outside her apartment in Queens. A man slammed her against a door and jammed a gun in her back. She screamed and fought him off with mace. It was a horrible random attack, but it got worse. A few days later, her assailant returned. It was the same man. He found her again in the same location. This time, he dragged her into a side alley. She later said, "He beat the crap out of me with his gun." She only escaped because of her dog, Lisa. The dog chased the man and scared him away. After being attacked twice by the same man, she was done. She moved out of Queens and back to her hometown upstate. Do you see the pattern? A terrible life-changing trauma in New York City. So, she fled. She escaped upstate to rebuild her life. That is exactly what she did decades later. A terrible life-changing trauma with the fire. So, she fled. She escaped to Italy to rebuild her life. And that first escape, the one after the horrible attacks, that escape is what accidentally created her entire career. After fleeing New York City, Rachael was back upstate. She got a job as a food buyer at a gourmet market called Cohen and Lowell in Albany. She was not a trained chef. She just loved food. To help the store sell more food during the holidays, she had an idea. She started teaching a cooking class. She called it 30 Minute Mediterranean Meals. The class was a huge hit. The local CBS station WRGB noticed her. They loved her bubbly personality and her simple recipes. They gave her a weekly 30-minute meal segment on the local news. That local news segment, along with her first cookbook, got her a spot on the Today Show. And who was watching the Today Show? Executives at the Food Network. They saw her, they loved her, And in 2001 they gave her first contract. 30-minute meals was born. Her career exploded. It was not just 30-minute meals. It was $40 a day. It was tasty travels. It was inside dish. It was dozens of cookbooks. It was her own magazine every day with Rachael Ray.